If you laugh, you risk appearing to be a fool. If you weep, you risk appearing to be sentimental. If you reach out for another, you risk rejection. If you love, you risk not being loved in return. If you place your dreams in front of the crowd, you risk ridicule. If you go forward in the face of overwhelming odds, you risk failure. But risk must be taken, for the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing has nothing, does nothing is nothing. That person may avoid suffering, pain, and embarrassment, but that individual will not learn, love, change, feel, or grow. Only the person who takes risks is truly free.
How aware are you when 1 minute of your lifetime has already passed? What did you do in the last 1 minute? If you say, I don't know, I just woke up and then 6 hours were gone. Yeah, that means, because you are unaware of what happened in the last 6 hours.
Stop scaring yourself. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts? And it's only coming from your thoughts. Nobody out there is doing a thing. Sometimes it's an old family pattern. Sometimes we get new thing. We find so many ways to scare ourselves. I would like people to, when you have time, to make a list of your fears. Make a list of your fears. And then give yourself the opportunity to turn each fear into a positive affirmation. Turn each one into something positive. And remember, always you are in charge. You are always in charge.
You're not broken. You're breaking through. You're unpacking years of baggage. You're adjusting to a new reality where you don't have to shrink who you are just to survive. I'm proud of you for doing the work. It won't only change your life, it will create a ripple effect in the world around you. So keep going, because the pain you're going through right now won't be for nothing.
You are still on the right path. Even if you feel like you are consistently failing, this is still where you're supposed to be in life. And every single thing that you're going through is going to be a lesson. If you take it as a lesson, you have the choice to be self-aware and think, could I have done this differently? Where did I go wrong? What can I improve on? Constantly reflecting, constantly getting better, because that is the beauty of life. It's about constantly getting better.
Every single thing that you want is going to require you to be uncomfortable. If you want a better looking body, you're going to have to put yourself through some uncomfortable workouts. If you want to make more money, you're going to have to learn higher value skills and do some things that you don't know how to do, which is uncomfortable. If you want to make new friends, you're going to have to put yourself out there, which is uncomfortable. No matter how hard you try, you cannot avoid discomfort. Even if you choose the easy road, the path of least resistance, and you dance around discomfort your entire life, guess what's waiting on the other side? Your good old friend, discomfort. Discomfort is a certainty in life, so you might as well choose the discomfort that actually gets you what you want.
Be grateful for the problems that you have, because I believe they're specifically designed for you, your growth, your development, and the things that you need to possess as an individual in order to grow and become the individual that you're destined to become.
A process is as hard as you make it. Even if sometimes that's not what you want to hear. We have so much influence on how we perceive things. Sometimes life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Try to find joy in everything you do. No matter how small, you deserve it.
Faith is a very mysterious thing, because it asks us to choose it before it proves it. But we're left with two options. It's either I sit with doubt where I'm at for my entire life, or I choose to walk with faith into the abyss, into the unknown. Taking chances, taking risks, all the things that come with it. And that is no easy feat, because we don't know what is around the corner. but that thing in us that continually taps us on the shoulder and pulls us towards this life of mystery and this life of unknown, why would it do that? Why won't it let me just be comfortable here? And I think it's because the ripest, most beautiful things are found in the places that are scariest to go.
Our actions, not our pasts, define who we are.
Victims see their past as their fate. Champions see their past as their origin story. And so a lot of people are living through their origin story right now, or they're living through the very reason that they'll never be successful, but it could be the exact same situation. And the only difference between either character is the actions they choose to take.
I think the unknown is our friend. And I think it can come with seasons of isolation and hurt and hardship. But the beauty that comes from the unknown, and the revelation that comes from the unknown, and the gratitude that comes from the unknown makes you know the unknown. And it helps you continue to navigate the unknown.
Every person who wants to do something in their life or has done something with their lives is going through the exact same chapter that you're going through right now. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your old friends, but you don't have the achievements yet to fit in with a new group of friends. And you're doing all this stuff, right? The fruit tutorials, you're watching these videos, and you're reading everything you can get your hands on. And you're going through it and you're thinking to yourself, like, is this even worth it? Because you're not seeing any signs of success. But the sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. It is the leading indicator. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and try and fit back in and conform because it's comfortable and it's warm. You could go back. You could go party. You could go to the nightclubs. You could say that this was just a hobby. You could downplay what you're doing. Like, then, as you're saying, you feel like a fake because you're lying to yourself. You're lying to them about what your real intentions are.
Before you go to bed every night, take inventory of whether or not you got closer to where you want to be or further away from where you want to be. Take the time to analyze your day. If it got you closer, that's a win. Feel the satisfaction of that win. You could have done anything with this day, and what you chose to do was to get closer to who you want to be. And if that day got you further away, feel the sting of the loss. Today was an opportunity for you to get closer to who you ultimately want to become. You could have been a little bit closer to the man you want to be, the woman you want to be, the provider you want to be, the parent you want to be, but you chose differently. Really think about that and feel that sting. Because if you do, I guarantee you're going to wake up tomorrow and choose to do something a little bit differently.
And there's something really beautiful about the days that you worked hard and nobody knew it, that you gave it your best shot and nobody saw it. Just you. There's something beautiful about realizing that we all start somewhere. And wherever we start, it's sacred and it's special because it's the building block, it's the foundation of who we will become and what we are becoming.
Most people get up every day and do the same thing. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, they tell themselves they're going to change their lives one day, but they never do. They go on wondering why nothing in their life ever changes, but they never change. But what if you did? What if right now became that moment where you finally decided that today is the day where your entire life changes? Right now is the moment where you put your fucking phone down and finally decide that you're tired of achieving the same thing you always have. What if today became your day?
You need to understand that your only limit is your mind. All of the barriers and all of the obstacles that you think are holding you back don't actually exist in reality. They only exist in your mind. Understand that all of these are just limiting beliefs, and you need to be aware of them or they're going to hold you back without you even knowing. There's a great quote that goes, "He who believes he can and he who believes he can't are both typically right."
true desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
You're gonna be dead forever, and you weren't born for a long time. And so in this little window that all of us have, why not try to fight for enjoyment? This concept of beating yourself up for what you're not just kills me.
Stop telling the story of your past and start telling the story of your future. Stop believing in your past, real or imagined, and start believing in your future. Stop romancing the past and let's start romancing a future. So the unlearning process then, 95% of who we are is a set of memorized behaviors, automatic emotional responses, unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions that are automatic like a computer program. So if we're in a program, then we're unconscious. So in order for us to change, we have to become conscious of our unconscious thoughts and the story and the narrative that we tell and those memories, to become familiar with how we speak or how we act and become so conscious that we don't go unconscious to that behavior.
The worst plot against humanity is that tomorrow is a better day than today. People call this hope. I call this hopeless. The moment you think tomorrow is a better day than today, you can live in a perpetual sense of deception. Tomorrow will always be a better day because tomorrow never comes. Those who have become slaves of their own thought and emotion, for such people, hope is an important tool, or so they think. But for this life, this doesn't need hope. This needs exuberance. This needs to reverberate with everything around now, and it can only do it now. It cannot do it tomorrow. You cannot live tomorrow. You can only live now.
You see, life isn't about having it all figured out by a certain age. Don't let social media lie to you. It's about the journey, the lessons, the growth. That's just the beginning of discovering who you really are. So listen to me. Don't rush the process. Embrace every moment, every setback, and every victory. You're exactly where you need to be, building, growing, and stepping into your purpose. Keep going. You'll soon figure it out.
Pablo Picasso said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away."
September, right now, is the single best season to use to your advantage. And the reason is simple. You got 4 months. That's what you're working with. And the shorter the amount of time you have, the more productive you're going to be. Why? You have no choice. Tight deadlines amplify your focus. They force you to narrow your attention. And September creates a situation where your new goal or the thing you want to work on, we're shrinking that down into 4 months until the end of the year.
Human being has to have a sense of purpose. The feeling of no purpose is suicidal. So what people do is they create a false sense of purpose. The false sense of purpose will be attention. If I get so much attention from people and so much recognition, then I'm fulfilled. But then You can never realize that. You can never get enough attention. Other people say money. If I make enough money, man, I'm going to be happy. But we see how many people get to that point and they're not fulfilled and they're miserable. You as an individual, you had a purpose in life. You had something you were meant to achieve because you have a unique DNA, unique genetics, and unique parents, and unique experience. Something about you is truly original and weird. And to the degree that you mine that weirdness and your uniqueness, you can become fulfilled. You can create something beautiful and lasting.
Imagine you are 80 years old. You're in your final days and all you can do is reflect on your life. You're looking back on the last 80 years and you come to this haunting realization. You didn't even try. You prioritized comfort and convenience over actually living life. You allowed fear to imprison you your entire life. The thought of what people might think or what people might say stopped you from taking chances and doing what you actually wanted to do. You lived 80 long years and you don't even have the satisfaction to say that you tried your best. You spent a third of those 80 years working at a job you don't even like, surrounded by people that you don't even like. Then you went and sat secluded in your home dreaming about the things that you want and never actually chasing them. The closest you ever got was looking at people on a screen doing what you want to do. Is that what you want to be thinking about when you're 80 years old? Every single day that passes where you sit on your hands and don't make the change that you need to make, it becomes more and more likely that that is going to be you.
Change doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. Every single day, you get to choose. You get to choose whether or not you're going to put yourself first, whether or not you're going to raise your standards, whether or not you're going to inch forward on something that matters to you. You can decide to change your life because you're inspired. You can also decide to change your life because you're just sick of your excuses. Regardless of what got you here, make the decision today. It's not one day, it's day one. If you want to improve your life, just wake up and decide today is the day you're going to start doing it.
I do not want to be what I once was. I realize that I want to be much more. How can I get to much more? It's by becoming that right now. There's no poof and then you're there. No, it's the steps every single day in the mundane. When you see no fixing of anything, when you see no change, it's I'm gonna step up and be that me today. I'm gonna step up and be that me today. I'm gonna step up and be that me today. It's not about how you feel.
Do yourself a favor, just for a minute, and sit with this metaphor. A bird doesn't land on a branch trusting that the branch won't break, but rather trusting in its ability to fly away. You are the bird, life is the branch. Don't waste your entire life overanalyzing the safest place to land. Make a decision, enjoy the view while you're there, and trust that you'll be able to move on if and when the time comes.
So much of the time when you have a project, you're thinking of yourself. Man, I have some great idea. People are gonna love it. And you're just in your head and you're planning, etc. But real planning is out in the world. You're thinking of the effect you're gonna have on people's psychology. You're thinking about the audience. You're thinking about your customer, thinking about your clients. You're dealing with the real world, not the little imaginary wishes inside of your head. And once you have hold of that brilliant vision, that image, of course, then you work backwards. Then you think of all the steps that are gonna help you get that way, point by point by point.
Thinking about what the version of you who got you here did, and then acting in the exact opposite of that as many times as you possibly can, and the pain that you feel by rejecting the thing that you used to do that got you into this bad circumstance, that's the real revenge.
Everything in life that's hard is just a series of things that are easy. You just have to take that first step. Most people, for most ideas, either don't do anything with it or will slowly make a little bit of progress over time. Taking that responsibility for yourself and committing to yourself to say, I'm gonna take action and I'm gonna make it happen. But we need to commit to taking action right away on things.
You can spend your entire life choosing the hard right over the easy wrong, doing the right things, being a person of character, treating people the right way. And then with one bad or wrong decision, you can lose all of that legacy, all of that trust, all of that compassion, all of that loyalty in a matter of seconds. Like that fast. That's how important these compounding decisions are. The sum of our life's decisions, the small and the large, the sum of those decisions all equate to the person we are on our deathbed, and the impact we create and leave on other people, ultimately the legacy that we create and leave.
Any major problem you encounter, it always started out as a whisper. By the time it gets to be a storm, you had a pebble, you had a brick wall, and before you know it, you're in the eye of the storm. But long before you're in the eye of the storm, you've had many warnings. So now my goal in life is not to have to hit the eye of the storm.
The process is the prize. The pursuit of becoming is the prize. Once you achieve that which you wanted to achieve, you will look back at the process and realize that who you became in that season was a lot better than what you achieved. Because we're so easy to desire what others have. We're so easy to daydream as to what we want and what we deserve. But when you can stop living in the future, which you cannot control, and you sober up to reality and focus on the input of what can you do today, right now, in order to maximize your chances of a future that is beneficial to you, then, my friend, then and only then will you become happy.
When you don't want to do it, when you don't feel like doing it. See, that's the difference, bruh. The difference is everybody got a dream and everybody got a goal and everybody wants something. But some days, some people wake up and go, I don't feel like it, and so they don't do nothing, and they're that much further. Some people get up and say, I ain't gotta feel it. My mama need this. I ain't gotta feel it. My brothers and sisters need this. I ain't gotta feel it. I don't feel like practicing. I don't feel like getting out of the bed. I don't feel like doing no drills. But it does not matter what I feel like doing, because this is bigger than me. This ain't about me. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm gonna take advantage of that.
It's not that the winner believes that they're gonna win, but the winner believes that there's no possible way that they can lose. It doesn't matter what you do to the winner. It doesn't matter what you say to the winner. It doesn't matter what sort of tragic event happens, what roadblock gets in the way of the winner's path. There is no possible way they can lose because of their mind, because of their thoughts. And the problem with today's society is that the minds are so brittle that anything that interferes with their path to success will make them stumble, fall, and never get up again.
Most people are missing something because there's so much trapped in there. There's so much in you that God or wherever the hell you believe in you that you have not unlocked. God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still fucking in there. Still chained up because you just didn't want to find your willpower. Didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage. And what that looks like, it looks scary. Like you're scary. To wake up every day and say, I'm stupid, but I want to figure out a way to be smarter. Versus saying, man, I just can't do that. So you limit this box.
How do you make this sharper? How do you make this more resilient? How do you make this stronger? By adding pressure to it. Not only embracing the pressure, using it correctly. And as you embrace more pressure, your body's going to want to crave it, physically and mentally. It becomes that fuel that you can't get from anywhere else. Pressure has a purpose in your life. Pressure is a privilege.
cannot determine what happens to you in this world. You have no control. Right now we're living through very chaotic times, as we all know. You can't control the era that you're born into. You can't control the family that you're born into. Some people have terrible parents who are abusive, etc. You can't control the awful, ugly, insidious, manipulative people that cross your path. You can't, and they're inevitable. What you can control is how you deal with them, how you react to them. And so if you react to them knowing that they're not going to influence you, they're not going to bring you down, they're not going to ruin your life, it gives you tremendous power. That is the power you have in this world.
All of the growth and self-improvement that you want really starts with one question. In what ways do you avoid stillness? Maybe it's mindless scrolling, emotional eating, impulsive shopping, drug or alcohol use, promiscuity, perfectionism, constant busyness. They're all reactive strategies to avoid feeling the unconscious stuff that we're afraid to process. And the unconscious stuff isn't going anywhere until we pay attention to it. So you really have two options. Number one, allow these patterns to continue running your life. Or number two, practice pausing before you distract yourself and start connecting with the discomfort that you're afraid to feel.
Comfort is a greater threat to progress than hardship will ever be. Comfort is a greater threat to progress than any sort of other problem you could have. Lack of education, lack of finances, lack of a team, lack of a belief system of people who believe in you. Comfort is a dangerous, dangerous thing.
Think about when you were a child, how free you were. We were all born relentless. We were taught to relent.
Set aside time to become better and better. It's easier than ever before to get caught up in your daily tasks and distractions, whether that's working late on a project or running errands. However, in order to live a fulfilling life, you have to be sure that you're spending time working towards your big personal goals.
A relationship with your own mind is perhaps the most important one and the biggest driver of how you're going to show up in the world. But I think we're all victims of our own mind. What it's taught me is that the more you can become a master of your thoughts, the more that you're going to be able to grow into this self-actualized version of yourself, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more.
I wish you the courage to be warm when the world would prefer you be cool. I wish you success sufficient to your needs. I wish you failure to temper that success. I wish you joy in all your days. I wish you sadness so that you may better measure joy. I wish you gladness to overbalance the grief. I wish you humor and a twinkle in your eye. I wish you glory and strength to bear the burdens. I wish you sunshine on your path and storms to season your journey.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now.
Most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, keep demonstrating the same behaviors, keep living by the same feelings and emotions, your personal reality is going to stay exactly the same. But if you have new thoughts that lead to new choices, that demonstrate new actions, that create new experiences, that cause you to feel differently, you will begin to walk into a new future.
Sometimes you will have to convince yourself that it's possible, that you can go from zero to hero, from peasant to king, if you change the way that you think. And if you don't know how to change the way that you think, begin to digest new information. Stay away from the haters, stay away from the losers, stay away from the people with weak minds and weak mentalities, and find those people that empower you. Find those people, elevate your spirit and your soul, and understand that your potential, my friend, is limitless. You, my friend, are limitless, but you must believe. And if you can believe, all things are possible.
All you have is this moment, so you have to continuously focus on bringing attention to this moment and keep reminding yourself that what decision can I make in this moment that is aligned with the best version of myself, that is aligned with the vision of where I'm trying to get to.
If you look at stories of great men, of great women in history, that story always has a lot of disadvantages that were overcome. There is something in the process of overcoming hardship that creates greatness. Most people quit through that process. If you can survive it, then your story will be a great one.
You got to bet on you. It's so funny that you believe in others. You would bet on others. You would support others. You would be there for others. But when it comes to you, you take a darn back seat. I don't understand it. I'm gonna bet on me.
I needed somebody and they didn't do it. So I decided at that point, I guess, I don't need you. The only person I need is me. And I'll be damned if I'm ever gonna need somebody. I ain't needing somebody. I'll be damned if I'm ever gonna need somebody again.
Don't be afraid of people rejecting you. Stick to your guns. That fear, it just withers the soul. It makes what you create just like everything else out there. But when you think, no, I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna mind what's different about me, I'm gonna be bold and confident, those who are trying to follow all the trends don't have impact.
Find out what you're good at. Find out what craft or thing or what are you good at, what you have an aptitude for. Do you like history? Do you like math? Do you like artwork? Do you like music? You find out what you have a natural inclination towards. You find out what you're good at. And then you figure out how to help other people with that thing that you're good at. And once you figure that out, that's purpose. 2 + 2 = 4. So what are you good at? How can you help other people? That's your purpose.
Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. Shake off this notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it. Embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it.
Remember, you guys only have one life on this earth, okay? It's not too late to change everything. Get up, guys. Make today the day.
The more I listen to this, the better my life gets. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
Build a vision of what you would like to accomplish between now and the end of the year. And then make a written description of that vision. Paint the picture with words. Vision. Vision is going to direct your life if you let it. Use it constructively. See what you want. Don't spend any time thinking of what you don't want. When you get a picture in here, make it big, make it beautiful. You'll be glad you did.
What we feel is what manifests. It's the energy that we put out that we get back. Claim it in your heart right now. Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What do you want to give? And what do you want to receive? And ask yourself that. Design your day every single day. You have the power within you to design your life. What you see is a reflection of what you believe. So are we going to say yes to a new belief system now?
Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Don't wait. Start right now, whether you're ready or not. Just say, I'm going after it, I'm going to get it, and your present circumstances got nothing to do with where you're going.
You've got to accept yourself for what you've done wrong. Do your best. And also find some difficult to do, because that gets away a lot of the anxiety that you carry around in your body. Difficult things make regular life less difficult.
Anything is possible here, that you're only limited by your imagination. Now, it's not going to be handed to you. You have to find your way through. And there will be times that you're going to hit dead ends, but you have to pick yourself back up. You have to be smart. You have to calculate another route, and then you got to keep moving forward.
At some point, everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south, and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, then you solve the next one.
And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
Work hard. Be somebody. Be something more than what you see in the mirror. Let the world be your mirror. Don't let them judge you, because the mirror can't judge you. You judge what you see in the mirror.
What's impossible in your life, go after that. Have that. Goals are important. Passion is important. Waking up in the morning and having an excitement about the day is important. You're here not by choice. You're led to this. And I believe we all have a destiny. We're all supposed to do something in our lives.
My favorite quote of all time by T.S. Eliot: those willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Notice that it says those willing to risk. You have to risk failing. You have to risk getting mocked. You have to risk your safety and security if you want to find out how far you can go. If you want to find out how many lives you can touch. If you want to find out what it tastes like at the top, you have to be willing to risk going too far.
And that's what's painful, is that it takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact, they're like, hey, you're not going to hit it big. And guess what? A month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not going to hit it big yet. And they're going to be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not going to hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're going to feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
To get anywhere in life, you have to work extremely hard and you have to be disciplined. If you wanted to be a great piano player, there's no drug you can take, there's no self-help book, there's no guru. You got to spend 5 years, 10 years learning it until it becomes something that's second nature. There are no shortcuts. You see after a few years that an incredible pleasure happens where now you have mastery of this piano and you can play things you could never play before. Suddenly the whole thing opens up, this whole new universe. And that's the paradigm for everything meaningful in life. If you learn something well, if you learn a craft and you master it, it can bring you a far greater pleasure than any kind of drug or any kind of going out to a party or socializing. But you have to be patient and you have to not be afraid of boredom. You have to not be afraid of the effort.
You know, there's something powerful that once you just sort of embrace the fact that in order to achieve something big, you've got to get rid of these distractions. You're probably going to have some suffering to get there, or some sacrifice to get there. Suffering and sacrifice and hard work is an indication of progress towards our dreams. The lack of sacrifice, the lack of suffering in our lives, its removal, its non-existence also equates to a non-existence of a great life, a non-existence of a dream happening. When we're suffering and sacrificing, we wonder whether it's worth it. We wonder whether we're supposed to. We wonder whether sacrifice or setbacks or suffering is a sign it's not our real dream. See, at the gym, you never think, oh, I'm going through some pain and discomfort. This must be a sign I shouldn't be at the gym. You'd never think that. In fact, the indication of the pain and sacrifice and sweat, don't you feel better at the gym? You're like, wow, I really sacrificed today. I really suffered. So in that area, we all know to the extent we suffer and sacrifice is to the extent we grow.
Don't get better automatically. You only get better because you intentionally make a decision to get better. You have to go from being a person of good intentions to a person of good actions.
Life doesn't happen to you. We all think that life happens to me. right? In fact, the only difference between most of you and me, the only difference between me and you is I wanted it more. I wanted it more. Opportunities will come to you every day. It's either for you can remain scared of the opportunities, or you can embrace them and take them.
You need to push yourself past good. Good is not enough. What are you going to do that's going to be different, you understand? What is different within you? There is something deeply different about you. Because a lot of the times, our biggest obstacle is ourselves. You are in your own way. And it just takes a perspective shift to implement into our day, and the next thing you know, we're transforming.
I wish more people were more gentle with themselves and more forgiving. You don't have a lot of people in life that are gonna come and fight for you. It bothers me to my core when I see people be negative on themselves, be hard on themselves, not be a fan of themselves. If you're not a fan of yourself, nobody's gonna be a fan of you. If you don't fight for yourself, nobody's gonna fight for you. It really bothers me, the victim mentality that people have. And if you can escape that victim mentality, you can tap into the opposite side, which is hope.
When you start stacking those wins, with each win comes a higher price. You have to pay a little bit more. Some days you pay a little less. Some days you pay a little bit more. When winning is looking at you and it's saying, this is what I need you to focus in on, can you go all in on that, or are you busy still kind of looking out of the corner of your eye? You can't do anything to the fullest extent, to its best capabilities, if you're already thinking about something else, or you're thinking about next.
Because if you wanted it bad enough, you'd make it happen. Just shows your true desires. Otherwise, something more important will always come up. The truth is, if it's on your mind, you're probably as ready as you'll ever be. If you don't make time for your dreams, you'll be forced to make time for your regrets.
A fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear.
Don't stop, don't dwell on the past, because a lot of times when we dwell on mistakes, when we dwell on certain decisions we've made that already happened, it keeps us there, it keeps us stuck there. Now we're taken away from this moment that we have right now, this moment that we have to bring intention to this moment, to bring gratitude to this moment, to focus on taking the next right step, instead of looking backwards and staying stuck in a place that we don't have anymore.
Fast forward 20 years. Are you going to look back at your time and think, I probably should have done anything? If you know that in a year, you think you're going to say, okay, I probably should have been doing this, or man, I probably shouldn't have been doing this so much, that is not a good feeling to have.
There's a great Chinese expression, a great old proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is, you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack. All you need to have is an undying passion for what you do and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
You're not allowed to give excuses, because excuses are a sign of weakness. We give no excuses when we fail. Failure is just fertilizer to help us grow as a team.
Guys, in life, winning isn't everything, but training to win is. Having the will to win, that is everything. Whether you win or not, people are gonna fail. You gotta get back up and try it again. But if you don't have the will to win, and you don't train to win, that's where you're really missing the mark, guys.
You ever had a gut feeling that
Maybe you were meant for more.
What if you were everything you could be? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
We're all trying to improve ourselves. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect now, I never will be. You're not, and you never will be, but you're better than you were yesterday, and you're gonna be better tomorrow.
You know, the greatest lesson my mother ever taught me, when I was a kid, whatever I started, I had to finish it. Whether I got in the midst of something and didn't care for a coach, whether I got in the midst of an organization and didn't care for a leader, my mother would never let me start something and stop, because she would always say, the person that you will become by enduring the process is far more important than the person that you have to deal with in the midst of the process.
Your present or past results have absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen from this point forward. You see, I kept thinking, well, gee, I'm such a mess up. You know, I've done everything wrong up till now. I'm 26, I'm broke, I'm not happy. Everything was wrong. That's all in the past. Every moment is a new moment.
Success is a strange thing. Presumably we want success because we think a more successful life will bring us more happiness, meaning, and fulfillment. Here's the problem. We sacrifice the thing we want, happiness, for the thing which is supposed to get it, success. Failure can make you miserable, but I'm not sure that success will make you happy. I am only worthy of love, acceptance, and belonging if I succeed. Now, powered by internal feelings of insufficiency, this person is driven to achieve many things. They're prepared to outwork, outhustle, and outsuffer everyone else because they're not just running toward a life they want, they're running away from a life that they fear. Success and progress ameliorates the feelings of insufficiency. Therefore, success and progress have become prioritized above everything else.
Character is the core of a person, something they can't control, something that comes from deep within, and it causes people to have patterns of behavior. And you want to find people who have a strong character to associate with, as opposed to a weak character. And what a strong character is people who are adaptable, who are fluid, who can admit that they are wrong, who can learn from their experience, who can take criticism. So I want you to focus not on people's charming exterior, instead focus on that deep inner quality, that core, that character, because that's who they really are. Your character is creating what happens to you in life. There's the famous quote of the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, "Character is fate."
As I continue to experience life and find myself, I realize that hope isn't what I thought it was. Through a lot of sorrow, it's actually been redefined for me. And I ask myself the question, what if my pain is actually my hope?
So many of us are at war with ourselves within. We have that inner conflict because we're trying to portray this image that is, acceptable in the world around us, that we think is acceptable, instead of just staying true to you. And yes, when you stay true to yourself, people are gonna look at you a certain way. People are gonna try to knock you off your path. There's gonna be a lot of external things that, try to sway you this way or that way, but you gotta stay true to you.
Here's my best advice. Welcome all experiences. You never know which one is gonna turn everything on.
It's our darkness that brings us closer to one another. It's all the shared broken pieces of our souls. Don't be ashamed of your darkness. All the mistakes that you've made have made you. Redemption is always on the other side of a moment. Every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. Keep fighting. Don't go gently into that good night. For as long as you are here, hope dies last.
someone who does not acknowledge the dark side of themselves and who is only good because that's all that they know how to be and that's all that they know of themselves is not really a good person because they're only doing what they know, versus someone who's delved into the darkness of humanity, the pain of it, the despair of it, and then chooses to be good and chooses to do something. That's the true good person, right? That's the person we're all aspiring to be. Not someone who's ignored the pain, but someone who's chosen to do something with the pain.
You have to learn to select your thoughts the same way that you select your clothes every day. Now that's a power that you can cultivate, because if you can't master your thoughts, you're in trouble forever.
The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal. Because any moment might be our last. Everything's more beautiful because we're doomed. You will never be lovelier than you are now. We will never be here again.
The Persian poet Rumi once wrote, "What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. Everything in life is trying to teach you something. You just have to pay attention."
You've got to be ready to change your life. No one said this was going to be easy. You have to keep on keeping on. You think life was meant for the weak? It wasn't. It never was. I'm telling you, just keep on going.
And then climbed back out. That's why we have hero stories, right? There's always the hero has to go through down into hell and then climb back up. And that's what we admire. That's what we respect. That's what we give dignity to. So if we're not respecting that in ourselves, in our own innate ability to go dark and then climb back out, we're not dignifying ourselves.
You've got to be ready to change your life. No one said this was going to be easy. You have to keep on keeping on.
So get back up. Make the most of this life you have. You're here. You're here now. The time is always now.
Nothing in this life lasts, even our troubles. Keep going, my friend. Just keep going.
In the end, it's all going to be all right. And if it's not, then it's not the end. Please just keep going.
This is it, man. It's your time. This is your moment. You've been praying for an opportunity. Here it is. You're about to walk into that season of your life. I just hope you're ready for it.
The odds of you being on this earth is 1 in 400 trillion. So you were chosen to be here. The only difference between you and the person who is going after their purpose is the choice of being chosen, believing that they are chosen. Those who are great are those who choose to be chosen.
Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves. That's what it is. Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves. Because if you tell yourself the truth, and the truth is, I'm not happy with where I'm at. That's the truth. The truth is, I can do more. The truth is, I can do much better than I'm doing right now. And if that's the real truth, if that's what you believe, if you believe that to be the truth, you won't have to find more discipline. Discipline will find you.
If you value your goals, you need structure. You need a routine that gives you the best possible chance at achieving them. Whatever it is for you, find a way to start your day that makes you feel your best. There's a good chance you already know what that is, and it's likely something hard that you'd rather put off. You will always fall into a routine. You either create one or it will be handed to you. You choose.
You don't have the answers, and it's probably pretty damn scary. And I say that's okay, because That is how it is. This is the reality that many of you are facing. This is the world that we live in.
In a world filled with noise, your voice, your actions, and your decisions have the power to carve out silence. A silence in which you can find your true self and your path to success. It's easy to get lost in the crowd, to follow the well-trodden path. But your journey, it's unique. It's not defined by the cacophony of doubts and fears, but by your ability to rise above it. Embrace the solitude of ambition. Let it be your guide in the chaos. Remember, the tallest trees grow in the deepest silence.
Feelings are like waves in the mind, and you just want to just be with them. You want to be in the misery. You want to be in the pain. You want to be in the emotional suffering. Just be there without any resistance, as if you're letting waves just move through you, and watch it, stay with it, and they will dissolve. Like waves dissolving back into the ocean, the feelings will dissolve into the mind.
Your gift will make room for you. And in time, that room will be large enough to stand in. And then the room will be filled with people. And then the people filled with your light. And when they leave, they take that light with them. You see, your light, when confined to you, only goes as far as you can travel. But sharing your light with one other person, 2 other people, 3 other people, now that might just change the world.
Where you're going, right? Where you're destined to go, it's not supposed to feel good all the time. It's not supposed to be easy. You know, so when you're going through seasons of discomfort, seasons of feeling overwhelmed, feeling pulled in a lot of different directions, understand that it's a part of you getting to the place that you want to be, you getting to the best version of yourself. It's all playing a role. And you know, like that vision that you have for yourself, you know, the dreams and the aspirations you have for yourself, like, they're not easy to attain.
Like some people's expectations, their belief systems are, life should be taking care of me. I got to show people that life is calling to you. You need to deliver something to life. Because as long as you're waiting for somebody to take care of you, then you're always the victim. You're always waiting. Whereas if you think that I'm here to deliver something to life, I have a responsibility to life to give something, not just get something. That's when people feel alive, because what you get never makes you happy.
Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will always find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people.
Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. No one of achievement has avoided failure, sometimes catastrophic failures. They keep at it. They learn from mistakes. They don't quit.
You were given a gift, but let me tell you right now, it comes at a cost. Your gift is not free. What's the cost? You have to work for it. You have to work at it. You have to manifest it. You have to grow it. You have to get better at it. You have to get better at sharing your gift. You have to cultivate your gift so much that you can share it. Your God-given gift doesn't guarantee that you will succeed. It just guarantees you an opportunity. And let me tell you what an opportunity you have.
Your potential is like that tree, waiting to rise above the noise, to reach heights unseen. This is your moment to tune out the distractions, to focus on what truly matters. Your growth, your journey, your impact, your success. Rise above the noise and let your actions declare to the whole world your purpose.
And so what's the point of climbing this mountain that the world says we should climb in order to be successful and happy, and realize at the end of a career, at the end of a life, we've climbed the wrong mountain?
where you are now is just a reflection of your past thoughts, your past thinking. So if you want to change your future, you got to change your thoughts now and then put them into action.
One of my most powerful motivational frames is thinking about the person that I want to become as the destination.
Life is shorter than you think. Okay, you're 25 and you're thinking, wow, I've got 10 years to figure it all out. I've got all these vistas of time. I'm young, I'm healthy, etc. You don't have nearly as much time as you think you do. It goes very fast. So you need a sense of urgency and energy.
If you have lost friends during the process of the climb, I don't think it is something that you should lament or be upset about. I think that it is a sign of growth, because a lot of people say, hey, you've changed. And the only natural response that I could have to that is, you haven't.
Champion's mindset, I think a lot of people hear the word champion, they think of a famous sports star, but we think of it differently. We think of it as, well, when you get on the field, put everything you have into it. Put every ounce of energy you have on the field. Leave nothing on the field. And two, when you get knocked down, when you see hard times and you get knocked down, get back up. And if you keep putting everything you got into it and you keep getting back up when you get knocked down, it's almost impossible to fail.
Anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. The world is your oyster. That's all I tell people. While you're on earth, you got to take advantage of this.
Effortless is a myth. I mean it. I say that as someone who has heard that word a lot. I didn't get where I got on pure talent alone. I got there by trying to outwork my opponents. I believed in myself, but belief in yourself has to be earned. Most of the time, it's not about having a gift. It's about having grit. The truth is, whatever game you play in life, sometimes you're going to lose. A point, a match, a season, a job. It's a roller coaster with many ups and downs. And it's natural when you're down to doubt yourself. But negative energy is wasted energy. You want to become a master at overcoming hard moments. I'm here to tell you from the other side that leaving a familiar world behind and finding new ones is incredibly, deeply, wonderfully exciting.
Very few people are going to tell you this, but growth hurts. Becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. Sadly, the only way for some people to learn to appreciate you is to lose you. You have to stop surrounding yourself with toxic people because you're lonely. It's really fucking uncomfortable, but you need to do it if you want to grow. The pain that you feel today, though, is going to be the power that you're going to feel tomorrow.
Whether you do, whether you don't, they're still gonna talk about you. At gatherings, they whisper about you if you're making moves or you're standing still. So honestly, I've come to realize in life, just do you, just do what you want to do. Let them talk.
Your thoughts create your life, and so you have to think positive thoughts all the time. You have to force yourself to think positive thoughts at times. You need to understand and believe that you can do anything you want, that we are truly limitless. There really are no limits. The only limits are the ones that you put on yourself, the ones that you create in your mind.
If you want to be great, you need to break the rules. Forget about being normal. The ones who don't get it will call you extreme and crazy. Put yourself out there, take risks, let them doubt you and say that it will never work. What do they know anyway? You don't need to fit in with the crowd. Just do your thing. It's time to show them what you knew all along.
Your outcome in life is a result of your work, and the quality of your work reflects your belief system. Do you believe? Do you believe that you're the one? Do you believe that you're chosen for this purpose, for this vision? That will dictate your outcome. That will dictate how hard you work.
What is your mission and cause? And how deeply emotionally are you connected to it right now? There's a level of influence that goes beyond any technique or tactic somebody could teach you. It also gives you the energy to fight through adversity and struggle. It overcomes adversity. It overcomes pain and fear and worry and angst and letdown. So I ask you again, what's your purpose? What's your reason? What's your why? What's your cause? What's your mission? I challenge you right now to just to write that down in 2, 3, 4 sentences, just to reconnect to it. Keep it close to you all week. Before you go to bed at night, reconnect to that purpose. I think the deeper we can embed our purpose in our heart and our spirit, the more that we can transfer that energy to people.
At some point, you have to grow up and be an adult. If your life is going to change, you have to be the one to change it. You can't blame anybody else anymore. Your life is where it is because you created it to be the way that it is. It's no one else's fault but your own. If you want to keep playing the victim, you can go for it, but it's going to cost you the life that you want.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it.
I dare you to stop f***ing around and dedicate the next 6 months of your life exclusively to your goals. Don't announce it to anyone. Don't tell anyone. Don't post it on social media. Just disappear and do the work and then reemerge in 6 months a completely different person.
Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will always find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people. We carry those inside of our hearts.
Growth demands a temporary surrender of security. It may mean a giving up of familiar but limiting patterns, safe but unrewarding work, beliefs no longer believed in, relationships that have lost their meaning, and files that cannot take me to the next level of living. Growth means change.
When there's something in your heart that keeps coming up for you, something that you really want to see happen, whether, again, it's personal or it may be connected to others, that's there because it's your internal guidance system nudging you towards the change that you're here to make. And when any of us hold back from that and play small, first of all, we're miserable. Second of all, we're wasting the gifts that we're on this planet to give.
Life is too short to let your happiness depend on how someone else treats you. Don't put your happiness in their hands. You can't control what they do, but you can control what you do. Keep your walls up. You have a destiny to fulfill. There's an assignment for you to accomplish. You can't be your best if you're upset, offended, trying to pay people back. Let it go.
Get up. Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better. And the next challenge, you're gonna be more prepared for. And the next challenge after that, you're gonna be even more prepared for. And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist.
If we give you misery and pain and discomfort and torture, that this will help you for the rest of your life. It's almost kind of like an investment, because from then on, you say to yourself, okay, now things don't bother me. You're making a big mistake to always look for comfort, because comfort is the evil of everything. Comfort is not good. Looking for the easy way out is not good. Is if you got to go and confront kind of resistance, and it's like Nietzsche said, and that what does not kill you will make you stronger.
The higher you go,
The higher the price, the higher you go, the harder the price. When people don't reach their potential, it's not because they lacked opportunity. It's not because they lacked time. It's not that they lacked ability. They don't reach their potential because they were unwilling to pay another price.
It doesn't matter what challenges it is that you are facing there. It is the fundamental principle behind it that you do not run away, that you are open for everything that is being thrown at you. It is this type of mindset to also understand, I didn't ask for an easy life.
If nothing changes, nothing changes. And yet, somehow we expect things to change. You think you're gonna get better shape. You think you're gonna get more money. You think your relationship is gonna improve. You think you're gonna get promoted. You think you're gonna get a raise. Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing.
You're playing a game. You're playing to win. There's no limit. You don't stop. You don't ever stop. I'm on a journey. I'm nowhere near come to the end. People with small visions think we've made it. You got to look at that little light coming down the tunnel and convince yourself it's not a train coming towards you. So you never, ever stop. Because if the day you stop, you're weak. And the day you're weak, you won't be a success.
Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Well, that never goes out of style, does it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do something, if you've chosen to do something, whatever it is, easy, hard, if you give it your all and you don't half-ass it, win, lose, draw, get what you want, don't get what you want, whatever the outcome is, if you don't half-ass it, at least you're not gonna have to wonder, ooh, would the outcome have been different? What if I did give it my all? And boy, wondering that is what keeps us up at night.
Don't do beautiful work for the applause. The applause will come as a byproduct. Do your most beautiful work. Work hard on it. Calibrate it. Make it magic. See your work as part of a magic shop for what it introduces you to within yourself.
Stop trying to make everything happen right now. It doesn't work that way. Instead of seeing daily progress for what it is, you're trying to make it happen overnight. Most of your problems aren't even problems. You're just playing short-term games in a long-term world. For you to get something you want, you have to earn it. You have to be tested and come out the other side stronger. Be patient with yourself. Your time is coming soon.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how hopefully there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
The more you're able to let go, the farther you're going to proceed. It is essential. The more your willingness and your ability to let go, the more changes are going to come. It's just like this. For new things to come, old things must go.
I lost my mind and I don't want to find it because I don't want to be like anybody else. I don't want to be like the majority who says nothing is wrong with me, everything's wrong with the world. I want to be like the very few who say, I need to change me so I can change the world.
Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. It all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most.
What you're going through right now are preparing you for what it is that you want. Whatever it is in life that you want, the hard times are given to you so that you can grow and so you can get stronger. You cannot be trusted with a lot unless you can be trusted with a little. That's how life is. Everything that you've been praying for, everything that you've asked the universe for is coming to you, but you just have to keep going and go through the hard moments and grow for what you want. And when you get there, you will see that you could not connect the dots looking forward, but you'll see how the struggles were the most important part of the journey to get you to where you wanted to be.
We'll never, ever, ever live a life that you're meant to live if you're constantly worried about what other people are thinking. People are going to be disappointed no matter what you do. Let them. Let them judge. Let them be disappointed. Let them say what they're going to say. Let them not invite you. Let me live my life.
If you want to win big in the beginning, you're not going to have it all. You're going to start earlier. You're going to work later. You're going to work weekends. You're going to skip beers with the boys. You're going to miss a dance recital or a baseball game. The question is just whether you want to make the trade for the thing that you want now, for the thing that you want most. And everything has a price. And so if you're not willing to make the trade, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just about what trades you are willing to make, because the person who wants to be you is willing to trade more than you are.
You have to stick to your guns. You have to find something that you can do that maybe other people couldn't do. And even if that seems different or doesn't fit into people's expectations, that's what's going to distinguish it if you can do it successfully. So I think it's really about sticking to your guns, doing something you passionately believe in. I think you have to be true to your own passion and your own sense.
You don't even realize how much potential you have. You think you're just confined to the reality you currently live in, that you're just born the way you are and that's the way it is, and just because it's been this way this whole time that it can't be any other way. It's not true. It doesn't matter what your story's been up to this point. Who is responsible for finishing the story? It's not your parents. It's not your genetics. It's not your friends. It's not your family. It's not any of the things that you've been blaming your entire life. It's you. So you can either sit there and continue to blame everyone else and tell everyone that you don't know what it's like to be me. Or you can say, you know what? My story's been what it's been. Things have gone the way they've gone, and I can't change that. But what I can do is take control of my future. I can choose to not be a victim anymore. And I may not have control over everything that happens in the future either, but I can do a whole lot more than I've been doing.
It's a lonely journey. You're isolated. Those who used to keep pace with you will fall off. They'll see where their world ends and yours begins. Your ability to suffer, endure, outwork must be greater. You must be willing to extend yourself to the limit with no guarantee of success. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough?
So what if you fail? So what if you have to start over? So what if it doesn't work out? Yeah, it's nice when your efforts pay off, but some things are just meant to teach you about the process of hard work. They're meant to humble you with the fact that sometimes you don't get what you want, but you can still be satisfied knowing that you left one less stone unturned. Not everything is supposed to lead to success, so just stay the course.
Problem that most people have is they're not connected to themselves. They're too outer directed. They're not inner directed. So what you need to be doing is you need to be looking at yourself, not listening to others, not listening to what's on social media, not listening to what your peers are saying, but listening to yourself, who you are, what really truly excites you. You have to cut out all that other stuff that your parents told you or that other people are telling you. And so you're looking for your childhood again, for that child inside of you that got so excited about those things, but that you forgot.
Most important question you could ever ask yourself is, what do I really want? And the answer to that, once you can establish for yourself what the answer to that is, and have everything you do, every choice you make, move you in the direction of what you say your vision is. And when you do that, the forces of life rise up to meet you.
Oh, never let anybody take your belief in yourself away from you because they hurting inside. Don't you never let nobody do that. Always believe in who you are. in the darkest moments, man. In the darkest moments, when you at that pain, when you at the bottom, know that you're gonna get back up. But you gotta believe that you're gonna get back up. The whole process of success requires you to fail over and over and over again. There is no book, there is no course, there is no guru, there is no television show, there is no college education that can teach you what you will learn from the failures that you have. The biggest inspirations that you know have had the most failures. They have made the most mistakes. They have up more than anybody else.
You realize that you didn't win the championship on that day. You won a championship that day when you got up, getting on the treadmill, repeating those boring old habits every single day, performing your craft. That's when you became a champion.
Progress comes with a price. It's not just enough to want to be better. You have to commit to being better, to take advantage of every opportunity.
The greatest test may not come from the path we travel to success. The greatest test is, what do we do with success once we find it?
Whenever you choose to chase after something new, just remember that it's supposed to be intimidating. You're supposed to feel anxiety and doubt your ability to make it happen. Because when you live outside your comfort zone, that's where growth takes place. You might not be qualified yet, but that doesn't invalidate the idea that eventually you can be. So challenge yourself, learn, make mistakes, just get started. But whatever you do, keep going.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
And for many of you, this is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your opportunity. This is your place for you to really begin to live an intentional life.
Times where you're going to have to do it alone. There's not going to be any team support. There's not going to be any family support. There's not going to be any friend support. There's going to be times where you've got to go and do it yourself, and you got to do it alone. And those are the times that make a difference. Those are the times that count. Those are the times where you have to dig deep yourself to get the job done. And if you can make that happen, you will win.
Everyone will fall. Whether it happens in private or it happens in public is the only difference. The thing is, you got to stop thinking about the fact that you're going to fall. You could fall. If you don't fall, that means you're coasting. You're making sure that you play it so safe that you never get a chance to see how great life can be. There are levels to greatness, and the only way to get there is that you have to be willing to risk it all. What are you betting on? You're betting on you. You throw all the chips in and say, if I don't have anything else to count on, if I don't have a mom, I don't have a dad, I don't have a backing, I don't have a team, if I can bank on me, then I'll never go bankrupt. Because the depths of what's inside of you is greater than anyone can ever estimate.
Greatest risk they take is not taking one, and I use it to this day. Anytime I feel that, I feel nervous, like I feel right now, I take the risk.
So this is us. This is our lives. If we don't make an effort, if we don't apply force, we don't change. Our lives will just continue as they are.
Dream big and protect those dreams. Not everybody wants to see you win. And the reality is, the bigger your dream, the more they want to shit on it. they're going to be so intimidated because you're going to have to change and become your higher self. You're going to have to become different. You're going to have more commitment. You're going to have to dedicate more time, and that means more time away from them. Better set big dreams. You better set big goals, and you better work like a fucking monster to chase those big dreams down and achieve them. Otherwise, you will have a lifetime of regret.
Socrates, he said, an unexamined life is a life not worth living. Examining your own life is self-education. No one can show you these things but yourself. No one can make you realize what you've been chasing but yourself. Who better to convince you than you? If you never examine these beliefs that have been handed down to you from when you were a child, you will just keep chasing them and keep acting in accordance with those beliefs.
You know, there are people that would kill to be in your position. Sure, you might not be exactly where you want to be. You might want to be in better shape. You might want to make more money. But there are people that literally can't get out of bed. People confined to the reality that you so willingly choose. They don't get a choice. They don't get a say. Even if they wanted to accomplish the very same thing that you claim you want to accomplish, they can't. And while someone out there is looking at you, thinking they have everything. They can run, they can jump, they can work, they can accomplish, they can do whatever they want to do. Why aren't they choosing to do that? If only I could do that. All of the things that you need to do to move the needle in your life should not be a burden to you. They should be a celebration of your capabilities. Because even though you may not feel like doing them, at least you can do them.
You see, you can't take people to wherever you aren't willing to go. You gotta be willing to get up off the ground. You gotta be willing to break the mold. You gotta be willing to stop the coasting, because the coast is clear for someone to grab the reins of greatness. It might as well be you. You gotta believe that somehow, no matter what I've gone through, it's making me stronger. It may hurt for the moment, but it makes you stronger. You get back on the bike and you'll find that you can assail, you can surpass, you can accelerate, you can get past the things that happened in your past, because it takes something to make you something. But that takes a willingness to go through a fall and realize that every fall must give way to a summer. Your season is coming. Don't throw it away because you experienced a cold winter.
Spent so much of my life terrified of what I was going to become and whether I was going to be right here, right now. God, how much time did I waste afraid I wasn't going to be right here, right now? If I could change, the only thing I'd change about my whole life would be fearing less that I wouldn't get right here, the place that I was going anyway. I wouldn't change all the mistakes and mishaps, I needed those, but all the constant worry that I wasn't going to make it, that took me out of enjoying the moment. It took me out of enjoying these experiences, smiling or eating my lunch or doing whatever I was doing. Know your mission, have faith you're going to get there. Wherever you go, it's going to be all right. Just find ways to get out of your head.
The problem is you, and you don't want to fix it.
This is a hard journey. What you're doing is hard. Most people aren't doing it. In fact, 99% of people are not on the same path as you. And that means that 99% are not going to get it. They are not going to understand. They are not going to approve. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to try to convince you to be like them. And you know what you have to do? You have to ignore it all. And you have to keep moving. And you have to remember that those people are those people for a fucking reason, and you're you for a reason.
No one is born as a superhero, and nobody is naturally born as being a strong and confident personality. These are things that from time to time, from situation to situation, start to emerge from inside of you, because it's growing inside of you based on how you are behaving towards yourself. Step by step, build something up about yourself, about your life, about your character and personality that will give you some strong fundament in order to tackle everything that this world is going to throw at you.
Anyone who has high value will be misunderstood. Anybody who has an amazing vision will be misunderstood. Dreamers, go-getters, people who are refusing to accept life just as it is, you will be misunderstood. I accept the challenge of being misunderstood. I accept the challenge of you guys not understanding what I see. I accept the challenge of you guys making fun of me when I'm not around. I accept the challenge that lies ahead.
For you to find greatness in yourself, you're not going to find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. But you've got to go inside yourself to find it. And that means you gotta be quiet. Stop talking. Search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it.
Everyone should come to the realization that you are in complete and total control of how cool or how your life ends up being. Now, of course, everybody's got their own setbacks and different starting positions. It's kind of up to you, man, right? You got to play your cards right. So when I say eventually you're going to come to a realization that your life is in your own control, you should try to come to that realization as soon as possible. Because if you get a grasp on that too late in life, then that's not a realization of an untapped potential. That's a realization of regret.
All those mornings that you don't want to get up, and every day you fucking fight not wanting to get up, and you do anyway. You chip another piece off fucking rock, and every day you fucking eat the right foods, and every day you go to train, you train harder and harder and harder and harder, and you get up earlier, and all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another fucking piece of that rock up. Before you know it, you have this beautiful fucking piece of artwork that you built. And then once you get there, you see it, and it becomes real. Like, oh my God, I did this shit. But so many people aren't willing to fucking chip away at that stone that is them.
As I know this transformation is painful, you're not falling apart, you're falling into something different with a new capacity to be beautiful. When I think about capacity, I often think about goals, dreams, aspirations, the things that we seek to do, the places that we're trying to get to just in life. You got a lot of people with talent, skills, gift, intelligence. You like, man, they got it. But when you think about capacity is all the things that you're gonna have to go through in order to acquire the things that you seek to acquire.
So you gotta go start your journey. And the journey starts with you finding, why the hell am I here on this planet Earth? Why am I here? And if you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question, why?
Justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. Life is hard work, life is faith, and life is grace. Faith without works is dead. You just keep the faith and work really hard.
And when pessimism comes to your mind, you've got to educate pessimism, because pessimism is stupid. Pessimism tries to get you to believe that it's only half empty. Of course it's half empty, but it's not only half empty. It's also half full. I'm asking you to be in charge of your own mind, be in charge of your own destiny. I'm asking you to drive worry into a small corner. You gotta worry some. All this negative stuff serves some purpose, but the key is for you to be the master, not the servant. We've all got concerns, and sometimes we all wonder, and sometimes there's a little crack of doubt. We worry a little, but I'm telling you, drive it into a small corner.
Be times in your life when you don't want to wake up, you don't want to go to work. There'll be times in your life where you don't think you're good enough. In life, nothing is promised to us. And so we take that mentality and we use it as, woe is me. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good looking enough. When times get hard and you're looking around and no one's there to pat you on your back, and ain't no more motherfuckers to carry them damn boats. It's just you dragging it. Just dragging the boat by yourself. And all you want to do is stop, but you can't. So all you out here just know one thing. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
Your past doesn't define you. It actually sets you free. Because who you were and what you've done is still change in the making. Focus on your next chapter. Focus on the story you're writing right now. Don't sabotage who you can be because of who you used to be. You don't need to rewrite your past. Just do more with your present.
The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it.
The fact is that you're more amazing than you've ever imagined. You're more qualified, more gifted, more useful, more meaningful than anyone has ever defined or told you you could be. There are times where you've tried to talk yourself into believing your value by looking in the mirror and you haven't gotten the right reflection because you haven't said it with the right inflection.
You're missing out on everything because you're waiting for someday. You're waiting for someday to feel ready, someday for it to be perfect, someday. Well, I'll tell you what, today is that someday.
If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You've got to become what you want. You've got to realize the minute you hold your mind in harmony with the good you want, then you've already got it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form. That's called the perpetual transmutation of energy. That is a law, the first law of the universe.
How badly do you want it? You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more, you've got to take more responsibility, you've got to deal with more ups and downs. If we can deal with that question, how much do you want it to suffer?
The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. If you start off with a small dream, you may not have much left when it is fulfilled, because along the way, life will test your dreams and make demands on you.
Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie, and it started now, forget about whatever financial disasters you've had, personal failures, relationship failures. What would the hero of your life's movie do right now? Do that. Do those things. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's not you.
Spin the block, man. Spin the block. It might be your day. It might not be your week, your month, your year. Spin the block. Knock again. Knock again. Keep calling. Keep showing up. Keep doing what you've been doing. It's going to pay off. You don't see it right now. But I promise you, it's happening. The roots are growing. The roots are growing. The fruits are coming.
I never ran track, but I've always heard that, like, if you ever want to be faster, you got to run with a bunch of people who are way faster than you. And there's something that happens with us as humans. When you are surrounded by those who are superior in their performance than you are, you're bound to be lifted up if you're as ambitious. If not, you're wasting everyone's time.
You're more than a ripple. You're the one that will cause waves in life, but you got to keep going. There's a thing called flow. You have to get into it, and the only way to get into it is to get through the things that try to interrupt your flow. Your development as a person, whatever it is you were born to do, you got to find out that one thing and invest yourself in it, so much so that you got to hold stock when everyone tells you that it has no value. You matter, and you always have mattered.
Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming?
You want to know the secret to achieving everything that you dream about? Don't quit. See, when you know what the destination is, there's a million paths to get there. And it took me a long time to learn that the greatest moments of growth and success happen right after you feel like quitting, but you don't. That's the secret. Keep going.
Don't even panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Right now, there's a rebuilding stage. Right now. Right now you have a chance to rebuild. Because what you're doing is you're looking at everything that went wrong, but you're not looking at what's going to go right tomorrow. Once you sit back, just sit back, write everything down, write your list. Write that list down of where you want to be, who you want to be, where you want to go. Look at the world. Look around you. Look at your environment and say to yourself, what do I need to move out of the way in order so I can get to the places I'm trying to go?
Your skill set is being developed under pressure, under denials, under rejection, under the people that have told you no. Those no's are things that you need. It needs you to fortify and believe in yourself until you can get to the point where it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You believe it with all your soul that I matter, that I was born to do something, and the greatness within me is going to touch other lives. You're not here just for you. The gift that you have is to be presented to God at the end of your life, and when you present it to Him, He'll ask you, how many other people did you bless? How many other people did you give it to? Because the one thing you don't want is regret. Not with the dash that we have. Our lives are way too short to live it just for us.
That's why people have scars. They're a reminder in their memory. There's something you get past, and there's something you live through, but at the end of the day, they're almost there.
All fools in life have one thing in common, according to the Stoics. Seneca says what they all have in common is that they're always getting ready to start. They are delaying to live because they think they have the future, they think they have forever. They say, I'm not ready, or they say, I'm going to do it after. I'm going to do it once this thing happens, when conditions are more favorable. They never say to themselves, I'm never going to do it. They say, I'm going to do it later. But no one knows what the future holds. No one knows how much time we have left. Life is happening right now, this second. In fact, the time that ticks by, the Stoics say, belongs to death. It's dead. It can never be recovered. So don't be a fool. Don't delay. You could be good today, Aurelius reminds us. Instead, you choose tomorrow.
You have to work harder than you think you possibly can. You can't hold grudges. It's hard. And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
If tomorrow was not a guarantee, how far would you push? If you thought that today was your last opportunity to ever do the thing, how far would you go? How far would you go? How fast would you run? How much would you sacrifice knowing you're never going to lace it up again?
You are willing to make the decision with the mindset, what if it does work out? I think at some point in every person's life, there is that collision between somebody else's expectations and hopes and dreams and yours.
You have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up.
What if? A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be?
When you say you're going to do something and then you follow through and you do it, not at the end when you cross the marathon, you finish it, or your hands raised. I'm talking about right now. The small steps in between the big successes that everyone sees. No one sees this.
Don't panic. Right now, this is a rebuilding stage. You need to stop looking at everything that's going wrong and start looking at everything that can go right tomorrow if you put in the work today. No more excuses. No more blaming other people for the hand that you're dealt. Take ownership of everything in your life. Move past the negative thoughts that tell you that you can't. You can get back everything else, but you can't get back today. So make it count.
Your setbacks are actually things that set you up to win. You're amazing, you're phenomenal. The pain does come, but it also reveals a greater side of you, that you are more than the things that have happened to you. And you're more than things that are going on inside of you. You just have to discover that there's a purpose for it. Use it for that purpose as fuel to get to the next level.
Those who are great are grateful. The difference is there are those who say, I have to put in the work, and there are those who say, I get to put in the work. One of them is going to put in more work, put in more of the small details into their craft, and they're going to get out a whole lot more because they're grateful to be there.
You must hold yourself accountable, and being your hero, that's what that does. You make yourself so totally accountable for who you are. You focus on you and only on you to become the best person you can be for others. Because we leave a lot on the table, not searching who we are. And then therefore, you die not knowing your greatest potential.
You will become whatever you're fascinated with. You always become whatever you're fascinated with. This is the law of mind. If you become fascinated by poverty, you become poor. You become fascinated with sickness and the reports of all kinds of diseases, you will become sick. Whatever you become fascinated with, you'll get it and it'll get you. This is the law of mind, and it works with anything. So do not become fascinated with what you do not want. If you want to be wealthy, become fascinated with wealth. Become fascinated with wealthy people. If you want to be successful and prosperous, become fascinated with successful, prosperous people.
The only way I lose is if I quit. It's going to be a dogfight. And so if you're ready to quit, then don't get started. If you're ready to quit, don't get started. If you're looking for this easy path, don't get started. If you think they're not going to close the door on you and say no 1,000,000 times, don't get started. But every time they close the door, I just get excited. Why? Because I am not a no. I'm one yes away.
I want to share with you is to wake up early and stack wins. What I mean is we need to start stacking little wins. Most of you out there think that success in life is a byproduct of big wins. Like I got to make that deal. I got to get that sale. I got to start that partnership. And the big wins are important too. Make no mistake about it. But I'm here to tell you that the little wins stacked every day, every hour, over time, over days, weeks, and months, make you a gangster of a human being.
Discipline. People use that word so loosely. You have to sacrifice loved ones in order to be great because they don't understand. I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home after everyone leaves the gym, I'm going to take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably going to train again. And then I'm going to have dinner. And then I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do that every single day for a long period of time. That's sacrificing and discipline.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not going to understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you try and make them understand, you're going to end up frustrated. The best advice I can tell you is go on the journey by yourself.
In the battle, you find peace. When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace. It's because you know exactly who you are. And that is where the peace is really found for me.